Hi, I'm Ryan Kabaki, President of Holden International, and we're talking about how to outsell your competition. Specifically today is insight. Compete strategy is about developing insightful direction to win. The ability to derive insight is a key quality of compete sellers. Let's look at what we mean by insight. Looking at this diagram, which we call the knowledge continuum, you can see there's 4 stages. Stage 1 starts with data. Data are points on a domain. As you're able to organize data and find purpose in it, you go to stage 2, which is information. The world right now in the CRM and Sales 2.0 world is flush with all kinds of data and information. Endless amount of data and information about your prospects, about your accounts, about executives, etc. It's going to stage 3 that introduces the human quality of insight. That is the ability to derive relevant value from information. The ability to derive insight is foundational for a compete seller. And ultimately, when you're able to apply that insight effectively and consistently, you go to stage 4, which is wisdom. Now, if you step back in the business world, I myself went to Harvard Business School, where we spent a lot of time on the case study method. They were training students to become business leaders. And a lot of the training had to do with how to develop insight. They would give you these case studies that were about 8 pages, and then they would have 20 pages of data tables, most of which was data and information. And what they taught you how to do was how do you develop insight from that data and information, and then articulate it in a way that can convince your peers that you have the right approach so they will follow you. Well, it's no different in selling. Just as product marketers and product development teams gather insight into what competitors are doing from a product perspective, it's critical that a seller have the ability to develop insight into what's going on in a particular sales pursuit. For example, at Holden, we have a new offering called Power-Based Compete, and we use methodologies and frameworks that enable you to pull out insight that's going to make the difference whether you win or lose. For example, the Fox Evaluator. It's a quantitative tool that allows you to insightfully understand a client's level of influence in their organization. We have the support-based map, another quantitative tool that allows you to understand and quantitatively measure the level of support you have at a customer organization. Oftentimes, the difference between winning and losing is who's able to develop this kind of insight before their competitors can do the same thing. See, compete selling is not about selling harder. It's about selling smarter. It's about the ability to develop insight and know how to apply it. Live from the Fox Den, this is Ryan Kabaki, helping you outsell your competition.